Welcome back to Constant Sports. This is the Friday Five, where every Friday we're going to break down the biggest five stories that we think are changing and shaping the sports business landscape, sports tech, sports investment, etc. So, jumping right into it, we have Genius Sports acquires Legend for $1.2 billion. This was announced earlier this week, and so it's a $1.2 billion acquisition of Legend, and that's a massive sports and kind of gaming network. And inside this headline suggests that Genius isn't just buying this media brand, but the theme we have been seeing for the past little while now is they're absorbing a gaming content engine, the audience at scale, in-house, different inventory assets, platform level ad tech that they can run off of, and different fan hub ecosystems. And so it's kind of vertically integrating this player and sports data, media, and gaming all into one. And so we think as the industry grows, we're going to see a lot more consolidation in sports tech, specifically across gaming and live sports, with Genius and the global partnerships and betting game now. Obviously, it's going to be a clear runaway toward a category-defining platform as far as this Genius play going all in. So it looks like major, if you're tracking major sports tech consolidation here, we're going to break this down, obviously, in the Constant Sports Report coming out in 3 or 4 days now. So tune into that. And then story number 2, we have Ariel Investments raises $250 million for this women's sports fund specifically. I think it's one of the largest sports funds dedicated exclusively to women's sports. So it's, as we can see, women's sports has been growing each year over year, especially kind of turning into this asset class it is now. And so this strategy, we think, is going to include a few things where it's acquiring stakes in different women leagues, different women teams, buying into some teams, scaling different brands and IP, and trying to drive really commercial operations from the U.S. and possibly into Europe. We see it kind of rising and growing. So as we know, the demand for women's sports has been rising in recent years. Specifically, capital is catching up and pouring more into these women's sports, women's leagues. So what we think this is signaling is women's sports valuations are, they've been accelerating. We think it's going to continue a little bit more here, and institutional investments are entering the space more and more. Media rights, it's going to be interesting to watch as those are going to be repriced and repackaged coming up. Especially we've seen the WNBA and their CBA, and they're not coming to an agreement anytime soon, it seems. So with this kind of growth ceiling, it's higher than I think people thought it was going to, and so it'll be interesting to see where this lands and where this goes from here. Then we have Drake Star reports that shows $200 billion sports tech deal throughout this year. So the Drake Star's annual sports tech report found that in 2025, it hit $200 billion in sports tech deals, and that's a record, clearly, as the whole space has been taken over. And so, as we've been saying from the first one, tech is becoming kind of a core institutional asset class where the money is followed from kind of the AI, computer vision, to betting infrastructure, fan engagement tools is a big one, performance analytics, venue technology. We're seeing that a lot in the Olympics with a number of tech and venue and operations that they're using in there. Investors aren't just dipping their toes in anymore. They're building kind of these entire sports-specific, sports tech portfolios are building out. Something interesting to see. And staying along the tech scenes, we're seeing Super Bowl 60s ad and tech and healthcare and health, I guess, categories surge. So obviously the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, and ad categories kind of tell us where it's going and tell an interesting story. And obviously tech is surging back into the mix. And we just mentioned their $200 billion 2025, and it seems like they have the attention, and they're going to try to continue to play on that attention into the Super Bowl, one of the biggest events we see. So I would be interested to hear what everyone thinks about what tech companies are going to go in there, if it's kind of more AI companies, tech wellness brands, wearables. I would assume fewer crypto brands than in recent years. We saw a big push in that maybe 3 or 4 years ago. A bunch of crypto brands were in there, and then obviously not as many now. Transitioning to college sports, and I guess another women's sports league, the AUSL signs its first NIL deal with Tennessee superstar Karlyn Pickens. So athletes at limited softball just signed, like I said, their first NIL deal. Tennessee's stand-up pitcher, one of the brightest young pitchers in the game. And as these pro leagues are partnering with college sports before they turn pro, especially in these women leagues, it seems we're going to try to drive that funnel and drive that attention to the league, as softball is here. It's a spring sport, so it's coming up. And why we think that matters is every athlete relationship, specifically in this lane, the cross-level marketing, increased visibility for the Women's Sports League, the NIL path kind of leading into that, and pro leagues playing the long game as far as talent development goes, league to athlete pathways, and creating those brand deals. So this has been another episode of the Concept Sports Friday 5. If you want a deeper breakdown to the real operators community we've built, it's full of sports business people, executives, etc. That'll be at the Concept Sports community. You can find that on our website and all the other platforms. So we'll see you guys next Friday.